Hi, today on Catherine Learns Stuff, I'm going to walk you through how to make these beautiful paper roses. So let's jump in. The supplies that we need for this craft are 4 square pieces of paper, a pencil, and some scissors. And then you can also use a dowel if you'd like, but alternately you can use this pencil instead. The size of these squares isn't super important. The bigger that you have it, the bigger that your flower will be. These pieces that I have are 6 inches by 6 inches. And that size produces a flower about this big. If you make them smaller, your flowers are smaller. If you've got bigger squares, you have bigger flowers. But I have a bunch of these origami pieces of paper, which are perfect squares, so I don't need to cut them again into size. Now, these ones are different colors on different sides. So if you look at this flower, for example, I did before, you've got different shades and different colors, and it makes the flower kind of pop differently. But you can use just solid color, one color on both sides paper if you would like. So the first thing that we're going to do with each of our pieces of paper is we're going to fold it in half once, like so, and then we're going to fold it in half again, like so. And we're going to do that for all 4 pieces. Once we have all the folds done, we want to make sure that our corners are lined up at the bottom here. And this is going to help us draw a heart. Like so. Now you can draw separate hearts on each one, or you can trace one heart on each one, whichever you like. My heart drawing abilities today seem to be not fantastic. Now, once we have all of our hearts on here, you need to do a double check to make sure you've got the folded edge here and the folded edges here. And then we're just going to cut out the hearts. Now, I've drawn them on the paper with pencil so that I've got markings for it. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Now we're going to have 4 pieces that look like this. Now each piece is going to be cut differently. This first piece, we're going to cut out 1/2 of a heart. The second piece, we're going to cut out a full heart. The third piece, we're going to cut out 1.5 hearts. So we'll cut out this part. And then the fourth piece, we're going to cut in half. And we're going to use all the pieces once we're done cutting these out. So I'm quickly going to cut these out and I'll line them up so that we can see what I was talking about. And now this second half, we don't need this, so we're going to put this aside for later. So what you should have, I'm going to try to line these up better so that we can see what we've got here. So we're going to use all of these pieces from our flowers, from our cuts. Now what we're going to do is each of these pieces we're going to curl in and fold them in so that they kind of fold in on each other like this. And so I'm just going to put a bead of glue along the edges and glue these in so that they're like a cone. I'm just going to overlap this like this and let this dry. And I'm going to do this for all of my pieces. Now the 2 last pieces I find are difficult to curl, so you might need to take some time with these ones, but they do get there. And I find that to keep this one round, it's easy to put a pencil in here to help that out. All right, so now we have all of our flowers rolled, kind of look like this. The next thing that we want to do is we want to curl the edges. So it's sort of like so. See how this one's got all the curled edges. Now, depending on what size of a roll you use to curl the edges, you'll get a different type of curl. So just to give you an example, this one here has a less rounded curl. This was from using a pencil, and this was from using an 1/8 inch dowel. So there's a difference in the size, and it will take you some time to play with what you want the flower to look like. I kind of like this bigger, looser one, but if you like the smaller one, you can use a smaller dowel. So all you do is you take your pencil or your dowel and you roll your flower petals around it. And that's it. So we're just going to do them all one by one to give them a bit of a curl. Now it's harder to do it with the pencil because it doesn't have as much pull on the paper, but it still gives it a nice look. And these last two are a bit harder to curl because there's not much give to them. So you can or you cannot curl them. That's totally your choice. And this last one I'm not going to. So these are now ready to go, and they sort of all have like a nice little curl to them. So what you can do now is you have two options on how to glue this. You can either just use your regular glue or you can use hot glue. I'm just going to use my regular glue, and all you need to do is pour a little bit into the middle here, and then pop the next piece on top. And when I'm putting these on, I sort of want them to be like a little bit offset. Now each flower petal is smaller than the one below, so they should offset themselves naturally, but that's not always the case. And then so we're just gonna keep putting in more and more layers of this flower. Like so. Now this glue dries pretty quickly, so I don't have to worry about it taking too long to glue. But when you're not using a hot glue gun, you do need to make sure that these pieces kind of fit in and actually touch themselves because they're not being hot glued. And these smaller ones I like to actually glue here. And I'll even sometimes snip off this little bit of an end so that it's not totally stuck in there. And on these last two, I cut off a bigger portion because they're kind of going to stick inside more. I'm just going to put some glue on there, rotate this around, and then the last one as well. And there you have the rose. Now you'll see with this one I've got the leaves are looser. They're not as curled like this one here that I did earlier with the other one. So you've got some options of how you would like it to look. I personally like the less curled look, and that's it. And there we have it. And there you have it. Our simple paper roses are complete. I hope you've enjoyed this craft as much as I have. Let me know if you tried it out, how it turned out in the comments below. Also, if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my other videos that I've got posted here at the side. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Happy crafting!